Temba, so first and foremost, first victory as captain. How impressed are you with the boys, and what impressed you the most about this performance from the guys?
Thank you, Khalid. Look, obviously a successful series for us as a team. I think obviously our first prize was to win the series, and that's exactly what we've done. And I think there's obviously a lot of positives that we can take from the series. I think to single out a few, I think a guy like Aiden coming back into the team and leading the way with the bat for us as a team, probably I could say he was probably the difference between the batters in this whole series. So it was good to see Aiden again carry on his form in the Red Bull side. I think a guy like Jero Kotsia as well, also getting a show within the Red Bull and showing us what he can do. Obviously, he strengthens that bowling dynamic. He brings that aggression. He brings that intensity and that fighting spirit. And again, I think the bowlers as a unit, they strengthened that perception or tag that they have, that they're quite a formidable bowling attack. And again, it's good for them to kind of carry on with that confidence. I think with the batting, there's good, but I think there's also areas that we can improve on a lot with the bat. I think probably the one thing that stands out is that we spoke about guys putting up match-winning performances with the bat. You know, Aiden did that in the first test. Second test, I was able to do that. So, you know, that's obviously a big positive.
Temba, if you were to look at the way that this World Test Championship cycle has gone, where you're likely to end third and compare it to the last one, and you've played in both of them, what can you see has developed in the test side, and what, you mentioned some of the things you think need to improve, but what can happen better next time around?
Yeah, I think. Look, I mean, it was only our first series, my first series as the captain. So, I mean, it'll be very premature of me to kind of draw any conclusions about us as a team. I think the journey is still it's still a long one for us as a team. So I think over a certain number of matches can we really draw conclusions on us as a team. But like I said, I mean, there's a lot of positives that we can take from the series, and I think it's just a matter of growing with all the good that we've done and to keep improving in areas where we can improve on. I think obviously playing at home, you know, does probably suit us a lot more. Guys are a lot more comfortable to the conditions. The instincts comes more into place. But I think the biggest test is obviously when we travel, and I think that's when we'll get to see what the team is really made out of.
What value do you think you can place on the fact that not only have you captained your team to victory, but you yourself have had a very big part, you know, to play in the second victory, coming off on a great game in the first. And what value does that do for you as a captain who's new in this job? Yeah,
it gives me a lot of confidence. Obviously, like I said, as a leader, you want to be leading from the front with whatever your discipline is. So I mean, me being a batter, it's always at the top of my mind that I want to score runs. And I want to be able to speak amongst the guys, speak within the changing room with good authority. So, I mean, this test, you know, things went my way in terms of the bat. And I guess, well, not I guess, I mean, my contribution, you know, played a massive role in terms of the victory today.
Congratulations, Temba. You touched on the concerns over the batting, and whenever there's a new leadership in the team, there's often like a new brand, a new direction that is put in place. Apart from you, obviously yesterday, I mean, you were very compact. You seemed to know exactly what you were meant to be doing in terms of your game out there. Do you think the other guys are maybe struggling a bit between trying to be more positive and also the kind of disciplines that you need, that you showed in Test cricket? There are quite a few guys getting out to balls that maybe they could have left, I guess.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, that's one of the learnings and conversations that we have to keep having as a batting unit. Obviously, in the past, there have been concerns. There have been questions raised with us as a batting unit. We have obviously been speaking as well in terms of how we want to play. We probably don't have that fully in check yet, and I guess through more conversations that we have will be able to articulate it better, but most importantly, show it out there on the field of play. I think it helps when you have one or two guys who are putting in those match-winning performances. It does kind of buy you a bit of time. It gives the other guys as well within the team a bit of more room to breathe. I think you also have to give a little bit of leeway for guys like Tony, guys like Rickleton, who are still, I guess, finding their way at this level. But look, I mean, that conversation with us, amongst us as the batters, we're going to keep having them until we get to a point where we don't have to speak about our brand of cricket. People can see it out there, and people know what to expect when it comes to us.
Thanks. Temba, there's 9 months now till the next test match. I know also your decision, guys, maybe Shooks were involved. What, as a captain, having had these 2 games now, what would you like to see happen in this large gap between now and the next test for your team to assist with the kind of improvements that you want to see them have?
I think we got to keep carrying on the language. We got to keep that through all the other formats. We're fortunate that some of the guys that play, or the core of our team, play in other formats as well. Aiden obviously now been back within the test team. He's leading the T20 side, so I'm sure that language will continue within the T20 stuff. I'll have that opportunity to keep challenging and carrying the guys within the one-day side, and I think that's the only thing really that we can keep going. I think there will be a lot more onus and responsibility on the players again to keep challenging each other to make sure that we are all heading in the same direction. It's unfortunate, Stuart, that we're only playing our next game in December, but I think all we can do as players is to make sure that we keep ourselves in check and make sure that our cricket and the way we're playing is going in the direction that we've all agreed on.
We're going to start taking the last questions with your eyes.
Temba, just in terms of, this is a bit of a two-tier question. Firstly, just how chuffed were you with Gerald's spell today? I mean, he obviously hunted for wickets, but he bowled at a time where the West Indies probably batted a bit, with more abandon than anything else. But after an expensive start, he came back really well and snagged 3 wickets. So just how have you been impressed by his determination and his execution in the series? And also, are you also very excited about the next cycle in the World Test Championships in terms of your attack? Because we've seen over the past 2 years that you guys have really developed a very potent group of bowlers, and none of them actually are really that old in the end. I mean, I know Keir's the oldest and he's 29, so you have like a core group in their prime, and now you also have a guy like Marku and Gerald who are young and emerging. So are you excited for that future?
Very exciting. I'm very excited. I think our bowling attack has always been one that has the potential to keep us in games. Like I was saying, with the batting there have been concerns, but our bowling, we know that when those guys click, we always have a chance within the game. A guy like Jared, obviously, he adds an extra dimension within our bowling attack. He brings that pace, he brings that aggression, and that's exactly why we brought him into the squad. I think not to forget a guy like Lungi as well. I think Lungi has done very well at this level. So I mean, for me at least, as long as I still captain Lungi, doesn't move out of the conversation. He still plays a massive part for us within the test team and all the other formats. But I think it's a good place to be in terms of the decision makers, the coach, myself, where we have, I guess, a plethora of quality fast bowlers, quality skill bowlers that we can call upon. Looking ahead in terms of the next test cycle, I think there's a couple of subcontinent tours, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess the dynamic will change there, but we'll see when that comes about. But I think at the moment I'm very excited as a captain.
We'll just check with the English component. Can you show your
Congratulations on the series win. Just another question following up on the large gap between this series and the next one against India. In terms of momentum and you're a batsman, what effect this has on batters who need time out in the crease, this big gap?
Yeah, I think those are the challenges, I guess, that we're gonna have to face. Like I said, fortunately, there's guys who play other formats as well. So from a match time point of view, they'll get opportunity there. Guys also have the opportunity to play in other leagues. I'm sure there'll be opportunities at county level. The T20 boys, they'll go and play at the IPL and all those other leagues. So at least guys will be getting some form of cricket. Us as a unit, that's obviously not something that we can control. Maybe we might have camps in between now until December where the Red Bull guys get together, a couple of games are being played with each other. I do know there's also an A tour to, I think, the West Indies, so maybe the guys who don't have any cricket might catch the tour. So yeah, we can only do with what we have. We can, yeah.
Great, and you said the rest.
Hayi masibulele ngitholele wena namhlanje. Uma sibuzo uzolumbuzo wena ngizabuza kuwe. Contract nje usibeke imali ngeke ukhe wahamba kwasemondweni njengaba kwe-Australia kwenyaphile ezingabakakhizi uzofikelela kwelinqanaba ngokuba umkhokheli uphumelele ubethe nemithi.
Into yase-Australia engathi into yenzeke kudala. Xa sendithethe inyani into eyenzeke e-Australia. Phofu xa sendicinga xa sithi i-Australia uthetha nge-World Cup kum igqithile. Zizinto ke into eyenzekileyo. Andisabambelanga kuyo. Sendilapha ngoku ingqondo yami kwenye indawo ndijonge ezinye izinto. Ndiyavuya ke uba iqela lam lidlale ngeli hlobo elidlale ngayo likwazi ukuphumelela. Yeah.
Xa uthelekisa ke nala series le-Player of Australia uzotsho apha njengoba khona utshintsho olunintsayo. Ithathe ntoni kwala-Player of Australia ezasifundo nazalula kule mpumelelo iziveki ezinesiqathe kuzo?
La midlalo yethu yase-Australia bekunzima kakhulu. Sonke singabadlali besi-under pressure kakhulu, kodwa ke ndingathi ke sifundile. Nam ke zikhona izinto endizifundileyo. Ndithanda ubuya e-Australia ndahlala phantsi ndajonga kumdlalo wam apho khona ndingalungisa khona. Ndazama ke ukulungisa apho nalapho. Ndiyathemba nani nibonile phaa kulaa series bendidlala kuyo kulaa one day e-England nalapha ke kule format le test cricket. Kodwa ke iqakamba i-cricket into ke uhlala ufunda suku nasuku. Suku likhona into oyifundayo entsha.
Great, thank you very much. Please